Daniel was 36 years old, and from the outside, his life seemed reasonably good. He worked as an analyst at a medium-sized company, rented an apartment, and owned a used car that worked most of the time. But deep down, Daniel felt trapped in an endless cycle of anxiety, self-criticism, and a constant sense of being on the brink of failure. He wasn't much different from most people he knew. Every morning, he woke up to an annoying alarm, dragged himself to the kitchen for a quick coffee, and braved city traffic while his mind raced ahead to the challenges of the day. A delayed email, a tight deadline, or the dreaded raise request he still didn't have the courage to bring up to his boss. Daniel was, in many ways, a reflection of his generation. He grew up hearing he could be anything in life but never felt up to those expectations, fueling his anxiety. He constantly asked himself, "What's wrong with me? Why does it feel like everyone else is doing so well?" Daniel's anxiety manifested in various ways. At work, he avoided volunteering for bigger projects, afraid of not being good enough. Whenever he made a small mistake, his mind amplified it, turning a simple problem into an imminent disaster. One time, he forgot to attach an important file to an email for a client. Although he corrected the error in under 10 minutes, he spent days imagining his boss firing him for negligence. This obsessive thinking was common in his routine. Even simple things, like going out to dinner with colleagues, could trigger an anxiety attack. "What if I say something wrong?" he thought. "What if they realize I'm not as smart as I seem?" This constant fear led him to avoid social situations. Daniel preferred staying home, rewatching the same series over and over while his mind wandered between past regrets and future worries. When the anxiety became unbearable, Daniel sought relief in small habits that initially seemed harmless. He spent hours scrolling through social media, comparing his life to others. He saw photos of travels, career achievements, and perfect relationships. Each post reinforced his belief that he was falling behind. Another escape was food. After a stressful day, he rewarded himself with a burger or pizza, accompanied by a bottle of soda. It made him feel better for a few minutes, but guilt soon followed. "Why can't I be disciplined?" he asked himself, looking in the mirror and seeing the extra pounds he was gaining. One particular Friday changed the way Daniel viewed his life. At work, he was trying to finish an overdue report. His boss, Mr. Cardoso, stopped by his desk and asked in a tone that seemed casual but carried a certain pressure, "Daniel, will the report be ready by the end of the day?" Daniel froze. He knew he wasn't even halfway done. His heart raced, his breathing quickened, and his mind started searching for excuses. Should I say I had system issues? Maybe blame the workload. But before he could respond, Mr. Cardoso continued, "Daniel, I need you to be more proactive. You have potential, but you need to stop hiding." Those words echoed in Daniel's mind for the rest of the day. Hiding, he thought. Was that what he was doing? Hiding out of fear of failure? That night, Daniel went home and decided to take a walk to clear his mind. During the walk, he began reflecting on his life. He realized he was stuck in a self-destructive cycle, avoiding challenges out of fear of failure, which made him feel like he was falling behind. He remembered a conversation he had years ago with a college friend, Marcos. At the time, Marcos had said something that stayed with him. "Daniel, life is like a race. You might start slower than others, but if you keep running, you'll get there eventually. The problem is, you're standing still." Daniel realized it was time to change. He didn't know exactly how he would do it, but he knew he couldn't keep living like that. He decided that the next day, he would take the first step, no matter how small. The next morning, Daniel woke up and instead of grabbing his phone to scroll through social media, he put on a pair of sneakers and went out for a run. He didn't have a clear plan, he just wanted to move. He ran for 15 minutes before he felt he couldn't go on. As he tried to catch his breath, something inside him shifted. For the first time in a long time, he felt like he had control over his own life. Throughout the week, Daniel started making other small changes. He began preparing his own meals instead of ordering delivery. He set a fixed schedule for sleeping and waking up. Most importantly, he decided to seek professional help to deal with his anxiety. He booked an appointment with a therapist, Dr. Helena, who helped him understand the root of his fears and create strategies to face them. During one session, she said something that stuck with him. "Daniel, you can't control everything in life, but you can control how you respond to it. Anxiety tricks you into believing the worst will always happen. But reality is much different. You have more power than you think. Those words became a mantra for Daniel. He still had tough days, but he began to realize that with small daily changes, he could transform his life. After deciding to seek help and make changes to his routine, Daniel began to notice small improvements. He still woke up with a sense of anxiety, but instead of succumbing to it, he chose a positive action to start his day. His morning runs became a ritual. At first, he could only run a few minutes before feeling exhausted, but he didn't let that discourage him. Each day represented a small victory, and that was enough to keep him motivated. Daniel's journey of self-transformation taught him that happiness doesn't come from the absence of problems, but from how we choose to face them. If you've ever felt trapped by anxiety and life's challenges, know that you're not alone. Daniel's story is an inspiration for us all. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it, leave a like, and tell us in the comments, what small step can you take today to transform your life? Subscribe to the channel for more real and motivational stories that can brighten your day.